Hello, everyone, and this is our final presentation on our client survey of Buzz Me Up from Libby Hargrove, Jamie Bynum, Kaylyn Bodwin, and myself, Yesenia Padilla.
Okay, so before we jump into the numbers and charts, let's talk about what Buzz Me Up actually is. Basically, it's a smart access platform that lets residents host and property managers unlock doors from anywhere. No more running downstairs in your slippers just to let someone in. Buzz Me Up said, unlock from the couch. We got you. It uses digital keys, temporary codes, and real time notifications to keep everything secure and convenient. And when we looked at secondary research, we found that people care about exactly that: convenience, security, and reliability. Everyone wants easy access that works every time with no tech drama. Industry trends also showed growing interest in automatic access, virtual concierge vibes, and better delivery workflows. So that's the landscape we walked into when designing our research, and why understanding which features matter to which users is such a big deal.
Incremental technology innovation is a key theory that we've utilized in our research. It combines updates and elements of existing products aesthetic, function, or symbolism as though they are an iterative, continuous evolution for said products. This diffusion removes friction from consumer product relationships, which can influence consumer behavior, thereby increasing sales. This understanding of updates is key to some of the research we did. COVID-19 brought once luxury amenities of prop tech to the mass scale. Prop tech is understood as frictionless, meaning it removes tension, conflict, or barriers to use from tenant landlord relationships. This is supposed to result in increased revenue for property owners and better experiences. However, um, there are issues with property technology, as there is with any technology, regarding problems of surveillance, exploitation, and hardship surrounding race and class in particular. Existing research says that many consumers have a positive influence of fear with regard to security, and that fear is a greater concern than privacy's negative influence on a purchase. Finally, consumers assess AI use in hospitality services from a lens of desire for fun and pleasure.
So here's a quick breakdown of what the app brings to the table. Buzz Me Up's features focus SWAT. On the strength side, the app already lets you unlock doors remotely, send temporary codes, manage multiple users, and get real time entry alerts. Basically, it's doing the most so you don't have to. For weaknesses, every app has room to glow up. It depends on internet or Bluetooth. Compatibility can vary by building, and the interface could be a little more user friendly for people who are just meeting technology for the first time. Opportunities are where things get exciting. Virtual concierge features, smarter delivery access, scheduling tools, smart home integrations, even dashboards for property managers. And threats, well, some competitors out here offering video entry and full smart home ecosystems, which is cute, but also something Buzz Me Up can eventually level up toward. So this sets the stage for why our research mattered. From all this background, we started to see a few key themes that shaped our research questions. First, people love convenience, like love it. If a product can save them time or avoid awkward door runs, they're in. Second, trust and reliability become critical the moment something goes wrong, so technology has to show up consistently. Third, there's definitely some curiosity around virtual concierge and delivery access features, but the value has to be super clear for different types of users. And finally, not everyone needs the same thing. Renters, STR hosts, and property managers all care about different features. That's why our research focuses on identifying which segments value what and how Buzz Me Up can lean into those priorities. So, with that, I'll pass it to the next section.
Hi, everyone. I'll be walking us through the decision problem, the research problem, our research questions, and the survey findings we collected. To start, our marketing decision problem asks, How can Buzz Me Up prioritize the right customer segments and refine its product pricing and AI features to increase client acquisition, paid conversions, and long-term retention? From this, we created the marketing research problem, which focuses on the information the Buzz Me Up needs to make that decision. So, like what target segments exist within the consumer base, and what are their value perceptions and preferences toward different product features? These two questions guided the rest of our research. Now, from the MDP and MRP, we created 4 research questions. Research question 1 looks at segmentation. We wanted to better understand which demographic and psychographic groups have unmet needs that best align with BuzzMeUp's value proposition and how that can guide features and pricing. Research question 2 focuses on pricing models, so comparing all-in-one pricing to tiered or add-on models, and how these models influence perceived value, trust, and willingness to convert. Research question 3 focuses on pricing framing. We tested value-based versus cost-based messaging to see how each one affects fairness, trust, and likelihood to convert. And research question 4 looks at how pricing model and pricing framing work together to influence actual behaviors, like subscribing, upgrading, or paying for AI-assisted or specialty services. Together, these questions help BuzzMeUp understand both who to target and how to position its pricing and features. So to answer these questions, we ran a 30-question Qualtrics survey with a sample of about 150 plus respondents. The survey had 5 sections. Section 1 was a screener and asked about baseline usage. Section 2 focused on trust and access security. Section 3 looked at pricing preferences and willingness to pay. Section 4 gathered open-ended needs and expectations. And Section 5 collected demographics such as age, income, education, and housing type. The purpose of the survey was to help us segment consumer personas, understand what each persona values, and also to measure behavioral intentions across different pricing models. We analyzed the data using descriptive statistics and thematic coding. So here are the key findings from the survey. First, the security needs varied by age, but were not statistically significant. The 25 to 34 and 35 to 44 groups showed the highest level of high security need at 70% and 75.9%. We also found that age did not significantly impact interest in virtual concierge or specialty services. However, other tests showed that gender did. So, for example, men showed a stronger interest in these expanded services in comparison to women. One of the most important findings was around pricing. So, perceived value and trust had a significant and negative correlation with willingness to pay an extra monthly fee. In simple terms, even when people believe the service is trustworthy, fair, and high value, they do not want to pay an additional monthly subscription. This ultimately suggests that BuzzMeUp may need to focus on flexible or usage-based pricing rather than adding a monthly fee. These insights help clarify who BuzzMeUp should target and how pricing and messaging should be framed moving forward.
For our content analysis, we analyzed 100 reviews from 4 different websites: Trustpilot.com, a large global review platform, G2.com, a B2B peer review website, and the Google and Apple app stores. We focused on 5 key variables: star rating, pricing and value, trust and reliability, convenience and ease of use, and features and functionality. These variables helped us identify strengths and areas for improvement. It's all about ensuring that the app not only meets, but exceeds the user's expectations. We chose to focus on Butterfly MX as the main competitor, not only because they currently corner the market of our target demographic, but also the consumers mainly interact with the service via their mobile device and don't have to install or operate any hardware themselves, much like BuzzMeUp. By understanding user reviews of our nearest competitor, BuzzMeUp can refine their approach and deliver a product that delights their customers and succeed in all the ways that the competition seems to be failing. Now, Given that Buzz Me Up is a fairly new app, there weren't very many reviews for Buzz Me Up. So out of the 100 reviews that we did analyze, only 4 of them were for Buzz Me Up. So essentially, the majority, about 96% of our reviews, will be for Butterfly MX. First, we have the star ratings. Buzz Me Up comes in at approximately 2.25 stars, while Butterfly MX scores a fairly average rating of about 3.54 stars overall. Accounting for the extremely low number of reviews for Buzz Me Up, we can't call this an accurate depiction of the app, especially since most of the complaints had to do with pricing transparency concerns, which have since been addressed on Buzz Me Up's website. Thus, shifting focus to Butterfly MX, each individual review may have indicated isolated issues pointing to the specific problem they experienced, while some kept it short and sweet, indicating they loved the app. For trust and reliability, some raised issues with a lack of trust in the handling of personal information. Convenience and ease of use, some had issues with the intuitiveness of the app itself or features and functionality. A number of reviews were focused on the app simply not working for them and having some major and minor glitches. Overall, these sentiments were rated fairly average to good. What we have discovered is that whenever these issues do arise, if it wasn't a previously stated problem, with the customer will then take issue with the overall value of the app, calling into question the price and if it was worth it to begin with. The main issues faced by Butterfly MX users is the ongoing failures of certain features of the app, causing them to miss deliveries and visitors or fumble at the door to retrieve backup access options. One reviewer stated she was locked out of her home for a period of time due to the program not communicating with her app properly and thus misrecognizing her. Instances like this drive consumer trust and brand loyalty down and causes the consumer to seek other options, to seek better options. So, what Buzz Me Up can take from these failings of Butterfly MX is this: focusing on maintaining strong and reliable software and programming can and will result in increased trust and brand loyalty and positive sentiment towards the app overall.
Given our findings, through our research, we propose that Buzz Me Up take on a campaign we are titling Building Ambassador Pilot. Instead of a citywide launch into Los Angeles, Buzz Me Up should select 2 to 3 high density residential buildings in the LA neighborhood of Silver Lake. We selected Silver Lake because of the demographic makeup, because of the preponderancy of high density residential buildings and renters in the region. Residents are offered free or discounted use of Buzz Me Up as part of the campaign. The Building Ambassador pilot allows Buzz Me Up to track updates and bugs in real time, test new add-ons such as AI concierge and other delivery service partnerships in a controlled capacity, and it creates meaningful proof of concept. It also creates opportunity for story banking for a new content pillar, which we will discuss after this. It also gives the opportunity for Buzz Me Up to expand in a sustainable directed way, such as a baby step into Echo Park or Los Feliz, which also have high density renters, just in a different sort of permutation. As mentioned, we also see this as an opportunity to create a meaningful content pillar for Buzz Me Up's digital strategy. We call this in Buzz We Trust. As this pilot program is progressing and as Buzz Me Up starts to refine its app and tailor its services to the target demographics, this is an opportunity in terms of client relationship building to collect stories of successes that Buzz Me Up users have putting their trust in the app. So, for example, a renter is finishing a shift at a restaurant or a bar, but they have a friend from college coming to visit that needs to get into their building, or a surprise visit from parents who need to show up, or they lose their keys at a party. These are authentic stories in which Buzz Me Up saves the day, thereby instilling a um, association of trust and reliability.
These are our chosen references for research. Our references continued. On behalf of Libby, Yesi, Kaylyn, and myself, we want to extend a genuine thanks to all of you for your time and consideration. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.